Good morning and welcome to my channel. I'm on with a bit of a project share and a craft with me video today. I have had this die set here for quite some time now, and I have never made it, and I have decided to make it up. This is the Tonic Studio Eternal Bascule, I don't know how you pronounce that, cantilever creator die set. So I was intrigued to see, I mean, you can see there, it's like the old-fashioned sewing boxes. So I thought I would make it up and share it with you today. I'm going to turn it on its side so that you can see it properly. So it goes like that, but when you open it up, it's cantilever like that, and it just folds back up like that, and it's really pretty and so handy for storage. I mean, with Mother's Day here in the UK next weekend, you know, you could make it for your mum for a present, or for a relative, or just for yourself, really. So, as I say, it's really pretty. You've got all the little straps here that hold it together. That little bit there just really annoy me. And it's perfect for storing stuff. I mean, each box is approximately 3.5 by 4.5, and they're just over 1.5 inch deep. So they would hold quite a bit if you had the die set. But then I thought it would be nice if we tried to make it for people if you wanted to make it and didn't have the die set, because it's just 6 boxes without the lids, really. There are a lot of pieces to cut out if you don't have the die set. On the strap here of what I'm going to do the craft with me, I've done it as one piece. Obviously, to save on dies, they've used the longer piece here, and they've joined 3 together to make the handle. But if you have a 12-inch pad, you can make the handle yourself, or even an A4 letter size if you went down the long side. So I've put it together and organised all the pieces for if you didn't have the die set. So let me just move this out of the way because I can't create with that there. So first of all, I've got all my bits here. Oh, I'm just going to put that out of the way because I'm just going to get stuck to that. So I've wrote down all the pieces here. So if you pause that, you'll be able to write them all down, or to take a screenshot of it, depending on how you watch YouTube. So I'm just going to leave that there a moment. I have already made up most of my boxes, but I've left one that we can do together. So mine are all made up here. If you made it in white cardstock like I have, then you are going to need lots of bits like this, because you will need them on the outside as well as the inside. And how I've done it is I've done the outside as a patterned paper and the inside as something that just matches it, so you're just lining it, because obviously you don't want to waste your pattern on the inside. If you had if you were using a double-sided pad, then it would be decorated on the inside anyway. But you might want to cover where the split pins go, or the brads go, and you'll notice on here, on this one, the lips on these boxes are very, very narrow. I don't know if you can see that. And I find that they catch, but that could just be me. So for the one that I've made together, I've actually made them as 1/2 inch rather than 1/4 inch to see if that works better. So I'm just going to, if you pause that there, and then I'll move it out of the way, but I will bring it back in at the end in case you haven't had a chance to write everything down. So you are going to need 6 pieces of card like this, and they are 7.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And you will score them at, mine are already scored, but I'll bring in my scoreboard anyway. So you're going to score on the long side, you are going to score at 1/2 inch, 2 inches, 6.5 inches, and 8 inches. That's along the long side. You're going to turn it round, and on the shorter side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch, 2 inches, 5.5 inch, and 7 inches. And that's all the scores that you will need to do. So I've also, which they do on the die but only on the odd piece, I've actually put a tab on the longer ones for when they go down, just to strengthen up these corners here, these sides, because if you are going to be storing stuff in it, you are going to want it that little bit stronger. Sorry about that. So first of all, you are going to cut down here to the second score line. Actually, we're better off burnish them all first. That would be more helpful. Ooh, knock my tower of boxes away then. So just burnish all your score marks first. How is everybody today? You all crafting? Or doing other things? So just burnish all your score marks. Sorry if I'm coming out of camera. I'm trying to keep it in view, but for me to reach. This is quite thick card, which is why I've used a plain heavyweight card. I think this is 250 GSM. So there we go, that's all my score lines. So then you cut down here and to the second score line, and then you don't need this corner here, so you can cut that off there. So you can cut off there and there, because you don't need those. Sorry about my fingers, my skin's really cracked because it's really dry. And then you're going to cut down here, but to make the tab, all I've done is I've left about 1 centimetre there, just so I've got a bit of a tab there, to give it a little bit of strength on that bit. And then I'm going to do the same on this side. So again, you cut down to the second score line, and we're just leaving a bit of a tab there. And as usual, when you do boxes, if we just taper those a bit, just take a slither off it so they're tapered, so it doesn't pop up on top of the box. hold it that way round, like that, and the same on this side. Sorry, I've just gone quiet, haven't I? Because I'm concentrating before I cut off the bits that I actually need. Wouldn't be the first time I've done that. So again, on this side, just score down like that, cut down like that, cut your slither out like that. Can't believe it's the middle of March next week. It just seems to be flying by. We'll soon be out in the garden, hopefully. I do need to go out and get some gardening actually done. So all my bedding flowers can start coming up. Right, let me just throw those bits away. So that's what you're left with there. You will notice on the outside here, I've actually marked here and here. To obviously put the split pins in, you are going to need holes. So they're done. I found the middle line, the centre point here, so that's 3/4 of an inch. And then they are, let me do that in centimetres actually, because they're not proper. So the first marking is at 1.7 centimetres, then at 4.4 centimetres, and then it should be 1.7 again from the other end, and that's just where you're going to put your hole. But you don't need a hole on every one, in every hole, because it depends on where they're positioned within the box. Yeah, that one's there. So I was just checking that one. So that's a bottom one because it's got 3 holes. And you'll notice on these ones on the bottom, you don't need a patterned paper there because you actually stick them together. So there's no point putting a patterned paper there. So I am actually going to go ahead and poke my pokey tool through here. Be very careful when you're doing this, because obviously a pokey tool is sharp. You can use an awl if your awl is sharper. My pokey tool is quite sharp anyway. There we go. Just bear with me a moment. So to make up the box, stick it how you would do any other box. And you, as I said before, I left these tabs there for when you bend over on this side. So we'll do that bit last. So just put your glue on all your tabs. I say I did make it so that I'd done some of the video, the making of the boxes and that prior. to videoing it just so that it was a little bit quicker. Oh, that one's come undone. Never mind. And your tabs are just to go there, just to give that corner or the top piece strength, because obviously you are going to be storing stuff, or if you're not keeping it yourself and you're giving it to somebody. And these look great with sewing stuff in. It would probably hold glitters and Nouveau drops and things like that if you were giving it to a crafty person or keeping it yourself. Put sewing things on it if you were sending it to a gardener. Obviously it would have to be somebody that you see, because the depth of the boxes is quite bulky, so you wouldn't want to put it through the post and it would probably get damaged anyway. So then just put a little bit of glue on your ends. I haven't tapered those because on the die itself they're not tapered, so I've just left it. But if you felt that that made it look better, or if you wanted to cover them, you know, then feel free. You don't have to do it the way that I've done it. It's just as a way of doing it. I've tried to keep to how the boxes were designed by Tonic, just so that we can get sorry about that, I had actually made a mistake, so I've just rectified it. On the top layer you need to keep 2 of the ends, long ends, free. That will be for your lid, because you need to stick your lid to it. So I'm going to have those ones as my top layer. I'm just going to quickly stick on these just so it matches. As I say, if you used a pattern paper, you wouldn't need to cover these, because they would already be in a pattern anyway. Quickly do these. I know I'm covering those holes, but I can see them from the inside, so it's not going to be an issue to poke them back out. I just needed them to stick down first. So they're the top ones. I'm just going to put those aside. To actually join all the boxes together, you are going to need lots and lots of strips like this. Now, I did have one of the ones that had been cut out. This is how they are on the actual die set. This is cut from the die, and that's the longer piece. And then you have the shorter one, which is just that half there. You need 12 of the short ones and 4 of the longer ones, and they are you need 12 of the 2 1/4 by a half, and then 4 of 4 1/4 by a half. And you were literally just putting a hole at either end and one in the middle, just to put your split pins in. I had tried to round them off. I'm not very good at it. My corner rounder just basically only did one side, so it made it very difficult. So I've done them as best as I can from by hand, but you will probably do better than me. So that is what you need for those. So you need 12 of 2 1/4 by a half and 4 of 4 1/4 by a half strips. I say these are the longest bits. Once you've done all these kind of bits, it actually comes together quite well. It's just that it takes that time to cut everything out because you're doing it by hand and not by die, although it did take quite a long time by a die. So I'm just going to find my pieces. So just checking my holes. Move that one out of the way. Sorry about that. So all you need to do now is put on some double-sided tape or glue, whichever you want to use is fine, just to stick them together. Another one. These are the only ones that you actually stick together. You don't stick any of the others together. Let's get this bit off. Get that to come off. There we go. Done it now. So you stick those together like that, and while you've got it like this, you do need to do the next step, because once you've started putting in the split pins, it makes it very, very difficult to do the insides of the boxes to decorate them. So you just need a bit of glue at the bottom. They are quite awkward because the lip makes it a bit awkward. That's where the smaller lip is better, but I found that it kept catching, which is why I made it bigger for the craft along. So just bear with me a moment while I squish that into there. There we go. So just place them in there. It just makes the box look a bit nicer. Like that. I'm only going to do this one. You know, you might want to stick that down before you did all the scoring and gluing it up. That might be an idea, because it is quite fiddly. It is a fiddly box to do. Let's stop sticking down there. So that's what you do. And then you have the side pieces. You can put the long sides on, but you can't put the short sides on until you've got the brads in place, because it's to cover the brads, to make it look tidier on the inside. And they are 1 7/16 by 3 7/16, or if you wanted to use centimetres, they're 8.7 centimetres by 3.7 centimetres. And you need 12 of those, and you need 12 of the longer ones, and they are 1 7/16 by 4 3/8, or 3.7 centimetres by 11.2. So you need 12 of each of those, and they just cover the inside sides, but I'm not going to put them on just yet. So then we need our strips, and if we look at this box here, along the bottom you need all 3 putting in, because you need to attach for the handle as well. So we'll do this side first. So if I turn it round that way, I turn the box round that way, you will see that on this side I need one long one and two small ones, and then the same on this side. So just bear with me a moment. So here's my long one. Just gonna poke them holes out a bit better, because I can see where the holes are. I can just poke them back through the pattern paper. So just watch where your fingers are at all times, because you don't want to lose, you don't want to catch your finger, because they are sharp. Okay, so on the outside I need a long one. And you can use pattern brads if you want, but I've just used the stationary ones because they are longer, and I'm hoping they'll give a bit more strength to the box. So you just poke them through and then open them up. And then I need two small ones. If you don't feel your holes are deep enough, you know, wide enough, then just re-poke them and just wiggle your pokey tool around. They'll soon open up better for you. Just realised I've started with the silver ones. I'm hoping I've got enough silver ones in there. That one didn't want to go in. No. Let's make that hole a bit bigger. If you just wiggle it around a bit, it should go in. Or that one. That one's bending. Let me get a different one. So that goes like that, okay? And then you do the same on this side and the same on the other side. So I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to turn the camera off and I'm going to come back to you once I've done that. So I'm back. While I was away, I put the base, I have actually put the second layer on. And when you join it up, these three bits here that you initially added, them two middle ones are for the handle, so you don't do anything with those at the moment. The little one here, it goes to the end, the inner side of the second one, and then obviously your longer one goes in the middle, and then you add another short one on either side. So you can see now that when you're adding them, you're going opposite ways, so they join into a point in the middle, because that's what you want it to do. And I've just realised I've put a couple of gold ones in there, but for now they'll stay, and then I'll change them over. And I've done the same on the other side. So that's what you've got so far, okay? For the handle, I've just done the length of an A4 sheet or a letter sheet. We just put the rounded corners and a hole at either end, and that's roughly the size of the one that Tonic Studios used. So now we're at the top. So we have these pieces here, and you've got the top there, and you've left this flap out because you're only on the top layer. You're only sticking down 3 sides because you need this side here for your hinge. So we're going to add the hinges first. So yeah, you have those like that. It's just, I've caught that bit there. I obviously didn't stick that one down well enough, but never mind. So for your lid is 4.5 by 3.5, and you're just going to stick it to that side like that so it opens up. You can either use glue or tape, whichever you find easiest, but just line it up. Just line it up with your box side like that. So if I do this side, that one hasn't stuck. I do need to go and put more glue on my sides because they're not sticking down. But I'll do that later when I'm done. And line it up as best as you can like that. So you put the 2 sides on, and then you would attach your clips as so, but you only need 2 holes on the top, not the 3 that I've just done. Never mind. And then you would cover the tops like that. So I'm just going to do the one just because of making the video too long. I don't want the video to be exceptionally long. It probably already is. So you just put your pattern paper to match your sides, or as I say, if you've already used a patterned paper for your boxes, you wouldn't need to do this step because you would already have the pattern on the top. So some of these steps you'd be able to miss depending on what you've used for the actual boxes. And again, you would place your middles in. Nearly lost that then. I've put my bases in there, and you would also cover the top inside at this stage as well, which, there we are. So I'm going to do that now before I attach the box, just to make it that little bit easier. This box is not sticking at all. Just putting on plenty of glue. So you don't have to do the interiors if you don't want to. It just makes it look nicer if you were giving it as a gift. For when you open it up, it would just make it look nicer, but you don't have to. It's not imperative that you do it. It's more for aesthetics than anything else. So I am hoping all my measurements are right and that this will work once I've completed it. If not, you probably won't see the video. So let's attach those. Now on the top row, if I just move this box we're making out of the way. On the top row, you're only joining the longer one and the end one from the middle there. I mean, you don't have to do 3 rows, you could do 2. You know, it's entirely up to you. If you do decide to make one, it is entirely up to you. I am going to have to use gold ones because I don't have any silver left. So I am going to have to go through and afterwards and change all of my brads. So I won't be sticking the insides on. There's always that one that bends. Get another one. I think that one was a dodgy one. Ooh. And there we go. Do this side. As I said earlier, it is a very fiddly box to do, but once you've got everything cut out and once you establish where you're pinning everything, it's not too bad. It's just time consuming, but it was even with the die, because obviously even with the die you've still got to do all of these stages depending on what you've used. When I didn't have enough sheets of the same pattern paper to actually make all the boxes, which is why I did it in the white. But if you do, then you know you're foregoing. Is that right? No, I didn't think it was. You're foregoing that step anyway. So I think I've put them right on the other side, so we will check. Like mine are popping in and out because I haven't actually closed them up, because I needed to make sure that I got the right amount of brads first. Mine keep popping out. So if we count how many, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2, 5, 7, 8, 16. You need 32 brads altogether, I think it is. To join it. So let's attach the mechanism. Oh no, where did I put that? I did have a mechanism to close it. Just bear with me a moment. I found it. So you do need something to close it with, otherwise it's not going to stay shut. I went through my dies that I'd already got, but you could use anything really that's got a shape, and just cut something out. This was out of one of my tattered lace dies, and I've just attached the Velcro dot underneath. So I'm just going to try and position this now. So you need glue on one side and the Velcro dot on the other, and just hold it down like that. Might take a minute for that glue to set. Let me just close my glue up because I don't need it. Yeah, so you would just put a mechanism there just to keep it closed. On this one here, I actually used a magnet and I put it underneath there, and obviously underneath there there is a magnet. That bit at the word there, open, it does actually come with the die. That's why I haven't used it on this one, because I didn't want to use anything that was actually part of the kit, the die set, because obviously we're making it from scratch. So we're going to attach our handle, so we need 2 more brads for that. And you just join up the 2 centre pieces on either side. That's it, just dip them all out. Let me get another one before I close this up, because I'm about to lose them all over the desk. There we go. So as I say, all I've done there is just joined. Ignore the fact that I've got silver and gold. I need to take all these silver ones out and put them all gold, because I don't have enough. I didn't think I did. And then I'll do the same on this side. And then it will be the moment of truth, and whether I've got it right or whether I've got it wrong. So that's how your handle will look there. So these pieces I'll add once I've changed all of my brads to be the same style of brad, or colour of brad. So let me just move these off my desk, and then we'll be able to bring both in. So yes, I will go through afterwards and attach all of these I've got here. I seem to have quite a few. I think I have more there than I need actually. So for these strips you need 12 of each, for the insides, and you would need the same size to do the outer patterns if you didn't use a pattern paper. So I'm just going to put those there. So let me see, that Velcro might not be fully stuck, but it has. So there we go, and then it would open. I can't pull it too much because of the fact that my brads aren't closed. So you would pull it like that, and then you would put it back like that. So it does work. Obviously when you do it, you'd make sure that you had the right amount of brads in the first place, and not like me who tries to do it halfway through a video. So there we go. So there's the one I've just made using just measurements. As I say, I do need to stick all my internal pieces in, but I need to change all the colour of my brads first. And here's the one that was made using the Tonic Studio dies. So if I just lay that down there so you can see that one, and then lay that one that way so you can see that one. So they're perfectly the same. Obviously that closure's bigger than that, but that's how it would be. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I will try and answer them, or email me. It is a very fiddly thing to make. But once you've got them all cut out, the hardest part is putting all the brads in, and that's the fiddliest. But I think it's well worth it for a nice present, or for something nice for you to keep for yourself. And you can put so many things inside of them. Sorry, I just needed a sip of my pop then. I'm just trying to think what's behind me that I could fit in. So I mean, they're quite they're not as small as they look. I mean, that holds one of the Nouveau glossy accents. It holds the Dream Drops, and it also holds obviously the stickles and things like that. So they are quite roomy inside. So if you wanted to gift it to somebody, you could use it as a sewing box. You could use it for craft items. You could use it for gardening things. If you wanted to gift to a gardener, you could put some seeds, some twine, plant label type things in as part of your gift. So they are the two boxes. One is the Project Share, made with the Tonic Studio die, and one I've just made on camera with you now, which I do need to change all the brads so that they're all the same colour. And here are the measurements, just in case you want to see them again. If you do want to ask me any questions, then do so in the comment box or email me. I'll gladly help if I can. I mean, obviously I do have printed instructions on the inside of the Tonic die. So if you did want to make them yourself, but didn't want to keep watching the video, I don't mind emailing you the instructions that are inside the Tonic Studio die set, so that you could follow it without having to keep watching the video. So I hope you like this project sharing tutorial. If you do, if you're not already a subscriber, please like and please subscribe and like. And if you hit the bell, you'll get notified of when I next upload a video. So that's it for me for now. Thank you for joining me. All that's left to say is stay safe, take care, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.